Hello. Right, several hours after my very emotional video this morning, I thought I'd get around to doing the Brexit video I intended to do yesterday. So, obviously, I'm very upset, but not that surprised. Even though I had a passenger recently a few times, he's a really good guy. We've talked about this at length, and he seems to really know his stuff, but he was adamant. He says they have to go through with it. They cannot extend. Obviously they could put through a bad deal, but he said they cannot extend it. It will be breaking the law. Well, mate, it looks like they're going to break the law then, because they're extending it. Our only hope really would be any of the V4 countries to veto the extension, which I don't know. Hopefully they do. I mean, Nigel Farage is in there. He's trying to work on that, and I don't particularly like you, Mr. Farage, but Godspeed. If you can get them to veto it, and we can still carry on and crack on for a lovely little no deal, complete Brexit on the 29th at 11 o'clock, party round mine. My God, I'll be happy. But I suppose I wouldn't put it past the EU just to sort of go, well, you know, we're going to just change the rules here because we lost and we don't lose. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say we need a majority of votes rather than all 27 remaining nations to vote in approval. Why wouldn't they do that? That's what they do. So we could just be doomed anyway. Why isn't the Crown getting involved? Your Majesty, I know you watch all my videos, you're a big fan. Do you not think maybe it's time for you to do something? You know, the shambles that is your Parliament, a laughing stock around the world. What a mess they're making. At what stage do you get involved, Your Majesty? Or are you just ceremonial? Or are you, as some people put in my videos, too busy eating babies? And that's a joke, alright? Don't get serious about that. Oh, please don't get too involved. That was clearly a joke. Right then, so everyone's got to vote UKIP, as usual. This is again another party political broadcast for the UK Independence Party. Vote for UKIP. I would even say, I'd now really beg any For Britain members out there, when it comes round to it, maybe just this once, just vote UKIP. We need those votes. Hope you do. Anyway, anyone that's going to carry on voting for the usual, for their Conservatives or Labour, please explain why. Why is it you think that they'll change? You think, oh, if you don't vote for them, it's a wasted vote. No such thing as a wasted vote. Any vote that don't get will hurt them. Are you just basically, you just want more? Please, sir, can you keep doing what you're doing to me, and I'm going to reward you for it? Idiots. Honestly, I generally think if people that sort of in here, in this, see what's going on, rather than just watching the mainstream media, and still vote Labour Conservative, idiots. If UKIP were to get in, obviously they're going to repeal the 1972 EEC Act. I think that's what it's called. And that means we're out. None of this Article 50 nonsense. Just, no, out. And then just let's get working on which laws we're going to change. I assume that things like hate speech will be high on the list. You can maybe put in your suggestions for which laws. I think axing the BBC will be incredibly popular. I think that's already in their manifesto. I'd also want them to get heavily involved in education, because this is what the Marxists have done. They've gotten involved in education, and they have brainwashed a couple of generations. So we need now not to brainwash anyone, just to teach civil rights, the law, the Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights. There's a constitution in there, I believe. You know, teach that. Let future generations, or let the young generations now know that what their rights are, and so they will be able to see when we have a tyrannical force taking away our sovereignty, and they'll be hip to it. I really do think that is probably one of the most important things, the education system. And any teachers that refuse to teach that stuff, because, you know, that means they might not be able to brainwash into the Marxist ways, sack them. You don't follow the curriculum, you're out, mate. Get a real job. Get a real job in the real world. Sorry, I don't mean to insult all teachers. There's a lot of good teachers, all right? You know what I mean, though. You know the ones I'm on about. A little bit of a backtrack there. Civil disobedience feels to me like it's going to be inevitable. It's just around the corner. I don't know when it will start. I guess it might start on the 30th of March. What's it going to look like? I don't know. I don't want it to look like the yellow vests in France. That's really bad. I don't want to see that. So I'd like some suggestions, please. What do people think are the best, most peaceful courses, but most effective? Because that's what it's got to be, effective. I think blockades are good. A few pretty brave truckers who are prepared to blockade Dover. That would be superb. Obviously, drivers on the motorways can do a slow down, cover all the lanes, slow it right down, 5 miles an hour, or even just stop it. And I know that there's some people get angry when I suggested that before, because that's hurting good people. Yeah, it is. It is. When they did the blockades before, a dozen years or so ago with the fuel prices, it hurt everyone. It was a pain in the arse. But what else are you going to do? I mean, I know there's things like withholding paying your taxes. My UKIP chairman, he suggested sit-ins. You just basically block the road, everyone sits down. When the coppers pick someone up, put them in a van, somebody else takes their place. They pick them up, they put them in a van, somebody else takes their place, and so on and so on and so on. They can't lock everybody up. But it would be nice to know where this leaves you legally. Because I'm a kind of fearful person naturally. I can't help it. I'm not a tough guy. So when there's a thought of getting a criminal record, you know, it's scary. And just be interesting to know if people know, well, actually, no, if you're done for that, it's just a slap on the wrist. It's not an official caution or whatever, you know. Be nice to know what there is, what the penalties are for people that do get their collar felt. Baby boomers. I think you and slightly older have been beneficiaries of being just the sweet spot of being a British citizen, other than all this tyranny that's been going on. But you haven't had to go to war. You've been the first generation en masse where working classes were able to buy their own houses, pay off their mortgages, be mortgage free, have a decent pension, have had reasonable health cover all their lives, and are now in a, you know, got potentially 25, 30 years to enjoy of retirement. I think you guys, where you're so financially secure, a lot of you owe it to be on the front line when it comes to civil disobedience. And I hope maybe a lot of you will. I don't think a lot of you watch this video. That's a shame. Share this around maybe. But yeah, I want to do it. I want to play my part in civil disobedience. I'm not gonna lie, it scares me. But what else are you gonna do? This country, the government have got to learn. So that's my bit on Brexit. Just quickly on Tommy Robinson's trial. So I saw some messages earlier that apparently his trial next week has been postponed. Anyone got any evidence of that? But yeah, I wonder why. Is that just to keep messing with him, or have they looking at it and going, we can't possibly get this through? Who knows? I suspect it's probably the former. It's that they just keep messing him around, just keep him completely stressed out. And my God, does he look stressed out? And I don't know what advice I could give to someone like Tommy. Well, to Tommy for that, because I can't imagine how it must feel having literally the weight on the world on your shoulders and your entire country, with an entire state against you, and the joke result of this trial just shows clearly how biased and how corrupt our legal system is. No jury again. Someone could advise me on here. I believe if you keep appealing and appealing and appealing, you eventually get to the Crown Court, is that right? And you have to have a jury. So whether or not that is the right course of action, I think Tommy wants to appeal it. But surely this gets in front of a jury, he wins. Dankula as well. Put him in front of a jury, that he wins. There's no way he doesn't win. So that's really where this needs to go. You need to have 12 people. I've sat on a jury, and it was a murder trial actually, and it was fascinating. I mean, it's horrible because it was a murder, but the guy that got it was a scumbag. So I didn't feel too bad for him that way. But it was it gave me a lot of confidence in getting the right result, because people were arguing amongst themselves, but after a few hours we got the result right. We definitely got it right, no doubt in my mind. And so even if there's people on that jury that will dislike Tommy intensely because of what they've heard, and maybe they don't know anything really about him, in the course of the trial they'll realise that in that particular case he's completely correct and the police were completely out of order. Also, has anyone got a link to the manifesto of this terrorist, the Christchurch terror attack? Because I can't find it, and I'm not saying I want to read all 80 odd pages, but it would be useful to have a copy of it to go through it a bit, make some notes, and to be able to sort of maybe look at how biased again the mainstream media are, how just basically lying they are about it, because I believe that's what they're up to. I haven't read it, I have hardly watched any of the news about it. I was checking on Tim Paul, and he was just saying, they're just spurting out a load of rubbish. Anyway, this video's over. Let us know what you think. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you soon. Bye.